Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakahakwadash, Barakathum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the Brother Ra'aya coming at you with another lesson. And I'll be profiling a couple of minutes of this clip that the Brother Saints of Jersey 2 posted on his page, which is a repost of a clip from the Sean Ryan show. And the title is Everyone's Talking About It, hashtag MOTB, which, of course is the MARKOFTHEBEAST, the micro C-hip implant. And as we'll see in this clip, it's just another signs of the times that we're right around the corner of the full rollout and mandatory implementation of the MOTB. We see the battle in the Valley of Jehoshaphat brewing over in Western Asia, the so-called Middle East, the War of Armageddon, and these two things are synonymous with each other. So, with all that being said, as it says in Romans, our salvation is nearer than when we believed. We are coming into the hour of temptation where all of us will be tried, whether we're going to receive this MARK or not. But hey, keep doing what you're doing to stay faithful to Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi, so you'll receive that strength to endure this hour of temptation when it comes to try the world. But this is a fair use copyright disclaimer. I do not own any of the footage in this clip, nor do I stand to gain from it monetarily. It is simply for educational purposes.
Is the head of the family.
Yeah, the way the fathers of the church talk about, though, is they say that the mark of the beast, you can't receive the mark of the beast. So it's supposed to be something that's well, first of all, the mark of the beast is the inversion of what they call the mark of baptism. So when a person's baptized, God infuses a quality in the person's soul, which is a mark. And that's actually why, for example, in the baptism in the Catholic Church, there's a sign in which you actually take chrism and you sign it on the forehead as an indicator of that this person has been consecrated to Christ through his baptism.
And just go read Romans chapter 9, verses 1 to 5 to see that the only people that so-called Christ, the Hamashiach, whose true name is Yahawashi and not Jesus, came for are the children of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as the Israelite foreigners who, through the curses and the scattering amongst these heathens over the generations have come to look like the heathen nations. It isn't as the Roman Catholics, which, Catholic or, Catholicism, pretty much means universal. It's not for everybody. Yahawashi didn't come for everybody. The Most High isn't for everybody. And also, there is, no more need for a water baptism. It's a spiritual baptism. Remember when Yahawashi rose after 3 days and, spent some time with the apostles before he went back up, he put the Holy Spirit on them, to understand all things. And then when you read in several accounts in the book of Acts, the different apostles, put the Holy Spirit on men to understand this word. And it's no different, than today. Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi, puts that Holy Spirit under his elect, and we're spiritually baptized into this word to understand all things. And also, there is a spiritual mark, which you can say would be the true inversion of, or the physical mark. The MOTB would be, the inversion of that spiritual mark, the mark of exemption on those that will not receive the MOTB, which, X that out. This is Revelation chapter 14. I'm going to start at verse 1. And the header reads, the Lamb, which is speaking of Yahawashi, and the 144,000, 12,000 men from each of the 12 tribes of Israel, which you can read about in Revelation chapter 7, the head of the elect and who are going to be the governing body in the kingdom of heaven. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads. And that's a spiritual mark, as it says in Revelation 13, which we're going to get, a mark in the right hand or in the forehead, which, you have the C hip, which is what the majority of people are going to get in their hands. But then you have, those marks in the head. Think about Neuralink or any other kind of BCI or brain computer interface. You've got the physical mark, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, writing his name on his elect so that they would receive the word, and ultimately they were written not to receive that physical mark. Verse 2, and I heard a voice from heaven as the voice of many waters and as the voice of a great thunder, and I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps, and they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders. And the elect are singing this new song right now, which is preaching the Lord and his name, their true names, Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, who the Israelites are, who the Edomites are, who salvation is for, and the kingdom of heaven, which is at hand. And as I suspected, that word new in the Strongs is G2537, kainos, which just means, recently made fresh, recent, unused, unworn. So what? The true understanding of these scriptures are being refreshed or renewed within the earth. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth, who received what? That spiritual baptism, the understanding of this word. Verse 4, these are they which were not defiled with women, not physical women, but spiritual women. These different doctrines and philosophies out here, which, that can be related to as women in the scriptures. Read Proverbs chapter 7. For they are virgins, spiritual virgins. They've been faithful unto their husband, a faithful bride, unto Yahweh Shai. These are they which follow the Lamb, whichsoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto the Most High Yahweh and to the Lamb, Yahweh Shai, that elect. And just to further, go into this point on that mark of exemption, this is Revelation chapter 2, verse 17. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. To him that overcometh, what? That overcometh and doesn't receive, that mark, goes through the hour of temptation successfully, will I give to eat of the hidden manna, and will give him a white stone, and in the stone a new, that kainos, refreshed, name written, which no man knoweth, saving he that receiveth it. And those couldn't sing the new song except the 144,000. Which, let me not pair, as I said. And no man could learn the song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. I didn't want to paraphrase it, but let's get that word stone in the Strongs, which is G5586, and it's phasos or Saphos, which in the outline of biblical usage says, in the ancient courts of justice, the accused were condemned by black pebbles and the acquitted by white. So, when you look it up back in Rome, if a person was found guilty, they were given a black stone or pebble. But if they were found innocent, a white stone. So the elect are going to be found innocent before Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, because they didn't receive that mark, or bow to the image of the beast or his system. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, and this last leg of the fourth beast that we are currently in, this NATO EU system that the U.S. is a part of and at the head of, which we can see is quickly breaking apart. The reincarnated Roman Empire, and what a major aspect to come of the image of the beast is going to be that mark. So again, to him that overcometh will I give to eat of the hidden manna, and will give him a white stone of exemption, and in the stone a new name written, which no man knoweth, saveth he that receiveth it. So let's go back to the clip.
The mark of the beast is going to be the inversion of that. So it's going to be something in our bodies that is going to be that will give us access to these particular things. Okay.
Like Neuralink.
Like it would be something similar to that, or it could just be something like an RFID chip, which then you'd just be able to.
Hey, you heard it straight from the horse's mouth, and this is a Roman Catholic priest saying it for you wacky tacky Christians out there. Hey, and to you other false camps out there that are skirting around to say that the MOTB is anything but what it truly is. That micro C-hip implant.
Walk in and they can scan it. They know who you are. Like it would be something similar to that, or it could just be something like an RFID chip, which then you'd just be able to walk in and they can scan it. They know who you are, and they know that you can have access to the food and things of that sort. It could be the type of thing that they get to the point where you just don't even hear things. Okay.
Like Neuralink.
Like it would be something similar to that, or it could just be something like an RFID chip, which then you'd just be able to walk in and they can scan it. They know who you are, and they know that you can have access to the food and things of that sort. It could be
a physical implementation. Revelation 13 verse 16, and he causeth all that he Salakia. That's Satan for you. Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all that he, being the elites of the Edomites, your Rothschilds, your Rockefellers, these banking and elite families, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive MARK in their right hand or in their foreheads. And when we get that word in the Strongs, it's G5480, charagma, a stamp, an imprinted mark, something physical. This is the physical, micro C-hip. And then when we go to the root word, it's G5482, charax. And in the root word for that, it says from charasso, to sharpen to a point, akin to the idea of scratching. This is the physical syringe that they're going to use to scratch or prick into your skin to put that charagma in you. And when we go to the root word of this, it's G1125, grapho, which when we go to under Roman numeral 2, number 2, to commit to writing, things not to be forgotten, write down, record, your biometrics, your banking information, your health information, your physical identity, so that they know who you are. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell. And that priest mentioned what? It being used for you to, buy groceries and whatnot. You won't be able to buy or sell, get a job, travel abroad, do anything in society, save he that had the mark or the name of the BEAST or the number of his name. And it's going to get so serious out here during that hour of judgment, hour of temptation, that people will be faced with being put to death for not receiving this charagma.
Type of thing that they'll get to the point where you just don't even have to carry credit cards, or even that your bank account will just be linked to this chip that's in you, because that's how they could actually do it. The thing though is that the fathers of the church say that you're not going to be able to get that chip without some type of renunciation of Christ. There's going to have to be some religious thing you're going to have to accept that is contrary to the will of God and contrary to Christ. And so
and all you got to do is receive that mark, and that's the renunciation right there. You're pledging your allegiance to Esau, Edom, and his system, and saying that, look, this is my God, which back in Revelation 13, verse 18, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. And when we get 666, it's G5516, high psi stigma. And in the root word, it says, the 22nd, 14th, and obsolete letter from G4742 as a cross, which when we get the root, stigma, and it says what? A mark pricked in or branded upon the body, a physical action taking place. To ancient Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their master or commander, branded or pricked, cut with that karax, that syringe, into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belonged to. And there were even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way with the token of their gods. So by simply receiving, the mark, that's your renunciation right there, and accepting Esau as your God.
The moral of the story is that you have to be
the image, the owl, the mark, and the numbers, all part of the beast system.
Willing to sacrifice the lesser good in order to achieve the greater good. You have to be willing to, I have to follow Christ regardless of the personal cost. Now,
is the head of the family.
There you go.
That's pretty much it. The brother goes into his commentary on it afterwards. But as you can see, Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3, though it tarry, wait for it will surely come. It will not tarry. These things are no longer tarrying. We're in the end game. So, like I said at the beginning of the lesson, to you sincere Akim and Akwat out there, continue what you're doing to serve Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. So when this hour of temptation comes to try the world, hey, you're found worthy to receive what? That white stone, that mark of exemption. I'm going to close it out in Revelation chapter 3, verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth, whether you're going to receive that mark or not. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive that mark. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Hey, continue doing what you can to please Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Now is not the time to be lukewarm out here or start to doubt or be lackadaisical in this truth, because just as easily as Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai gave you this word, as easily as he can take it away from you. And we're seeing a lot of men out here, a lot of Israelites lose the faith as we get closer and closer to the end of things. I'm going to jump down to verse 15. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold, you're fully in the world, or hot, you're fully in the truth. I would that thou wert cold or hot. The Lord hates a fence sitter. Either be fully for the truth or go fully be in the world and enjoy what little time you have left before you're judged. So then, because thou art lukewarm, half in the world, half in the truth, I believe what the prophets are saying and all that I'm an Israelite, but I'ma still have a 5, 10, 15-year plan just in case this doesn't pan out. Or, that's how much more time we've got until, the Messiah comes. So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. And, you receive that mark and ultimately get destroyed by nuclear missiles. Back in Revelation chapter 14, verse 9, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast, Esau, and his image, his system, the financial, political, and military aspects of it, and receive his mark, that microchip, in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone, getting hit with those nuclear missiles, as well as that concentrated heat, or so-called laser beams being fired from the chariots, in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, Yahushua. So that's it with this video. And with this video, I hope you sincere, Akim and Akwath were edified. Just keep strong. We are almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharala, and until next time, Shalom.